another few weeks following that injury picked up while on international duty for Brazil. But a first test this for Bayern. Saliba is for Mosquera, who is in place, of course, of Gabriel. It was Nkapie at the weekend against Tottenham, but Mikel Arteta preferring the Spaniard tonight. Nkapie is on the bench. This free kick will be taken by Declan Rice, just a yard infield from this near touchline, the Arsenal right. Bukayo Saka is over there as well if he wants to go short. Rice, I don't think he will. Plays it in right foot. It's a brilliant delivery, and the header is really poor from Saliba. Should have done better. It's a clear header from Saliba, probably about 8 yards out. It's such a brilliant delivery again from Declan Rice. Oh, I think he would have been offside anyway. Indeed, he would have been, actually. He's not timed his run. It's a poor header, though, by Saliba. He got right underneath it. It was almost like a defensive header. I mean, understandably, he is a defender, a very good one at that. But he'll be disappointed with his connection he got onto that header. It went well wide and well over the bar for a goal kick, which has been taken by Norn. He's given the ball straight to Bukayo Saka down this near side. Now, can the England international take advantage of that? He's got two Bayern players around him. We do well to win a throw in here, and in the end, it's come off of Bukayo Saka, or according to the linesman down this near side, it was. And Lema thought about taking a quick one, but he's held it up a little bit down this near side. So throw in for Bayern Munich. 5 minutes played here at the Emirates. And the throw-in to be taken by the Austrian Konrad Lehmer for Bayern Munich. Goes for the short one, gets the ball back. He's got to be careful here. He's got Bukayo Saka around him. Plays it down the line and was hoping to get a little nick, I think, off of Bukayo Saka as the ball goes out down this near side, deep inside the Bayern Munich half. And good work from Bukayo Saka. He was straight there. And in the end, when the ball was cleared down the line, it didn't get the nick off of Bukayo Saka that the Bayern Munich defender was hoping for. So it's a throw-in to Arsenal, level with the edge of the Bayern Munich penalty here, down the Arsenal right. Another opportunity for a set piece here. Declan Rice behind it again, this time with the long throw. It was a decent delivery from that free kick earlier, but Saliba couldn't do what he needed to. Rice throws it in towards the edge of that 6-yard area. And volleyed clear by Upamecano up towards the far side. Arsenal will retrieve it through Miles Lewis-Skelly. Flows down quickly, Miles Lewis-Skelly loses possession, in fact, and Bayern could have a break on here, although saying that Arsenal got back so quickly. They've already got so many men behind the ball. Here's Lehmer. Lehmer goes back towards the edge of his 18-yard line. Here's Tar, square to Upamecano, just to the right of the D. Closed down by Ebricheze, goes out towards that far side, and Stanisic playing over on the far side. The initial lineup that I had Stanisic at left back and Lehmer at right back, but it's the other way round. Stanisic is over on that far side, and it's the number 27, the Austrian, who's down this near side, the left for Bayern Munich. And it's clipped out towards Stanisic over on that far side. Back he goes to Upamecano. Now Joshua Kimmich so often knits things together inside that midfield for Bayern Munich. Finds Tar, 1-2 between himself and Pavlovic. Back it goes again to Joshua Kimmich. At the moment, the deepest player is behind the two centre-backs at the moment, Kimmich, and then floats one out towards Stanisic over on that far side. Just holds the ball up on the halfway line. Closed down by Leandro Trossard. Arsenal quite happy to give up possession here early doors here at the Emirates. Certainly wasn't the case against Tottenham at the weekend when they suffocated their North London rivals pretty much from the first minute and all the possession. Arsenal go back to David Raya. Low out to Saliba, right inside of the penalty area. Down the line it goes to Jurrien Timber. Has been one of Arsenal's most impressive and most consistent performers, and here he goes now. Lovely turn on the halfway line forward now to Bukayo Saka, who's popped up in a central position inside the centre circle, just shrugs off the challenge and then out towards the far side, just sold. In the end, it was Trossard just sold him a little bit short. Arsenal won it back, though, through a combination of Miles Lewis-Skelly and Declan Rice over on that far side. And then the ball floated in field to Martin Zubimendi. Lovely ball by him to find in space. Mikel Merino floats one over the top. Now it's Trossard onside. It's Leandro Trossard. Loops it over the goalkeeper. Can Saka get there at the far post? He's gone a bit wide. He's forced wide. Saka still has possession. Back towards the edge of the penalty area. Completely missed by Zubimendi. And then Trossard tries the shot. That's blocked. And in the end, it's all irrelevant because the offside flag was up. Well, it was one of those ones where Trossard went through and you thought surely he's offside. And indeed he was. And we carried on this parade for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Ball over the top. It's a lovely ball, by the way, over the top by Mikel Merino, but he was about half a yard off. Floats it over the goalkeeper, Trossard, and Saka almost finished it at the far post. But in the end, the Belgian was just offside, and why we didn't have the flag go up before that, I have absolutely no idea, because it was all irrelevant, wasn't it? And we all kind of knew it was. Jonathan Tah back to the goalkeeper. Another poor clearance there by the goalkeeper. Saliba picks it up now, and only Saliba knows what he was doing there. He just sort of pokes the ball straight through to the goalkeeper Neuer, but that's twice now that Neuer's paid out from the back and has given the ball away cheaply for Bayern Munich. That time giving it away probably to the wrong man as far as an Arsenal point of view goes, because he gave it away to William Saliba, and Saliba drove forward towards the edge of the penalty and then was in two minds, I think, about whether to have a shot or try and play the ball through, and in the end he just sort of poked it back to Manuel Neuer from just outside the penalty area. Here's Lema, on it goes to Serge Gnabry, closed down by Timber. And it was Timber initially who created that opportunity for Arsenal, driving into midfield from the right back position. Here's Michael Olise on the far side, looking to take on Miles Lewis-Skelly. Back it goes to Kimmich, in field to Pavlovic. Goes back out towards that right hand side again, and the ex-Crystal Palace man, Michael Olise. Such a good partnership they had, didn't they? Olise and Nebrichese at Crystal Palace. Good friends, I think, off the pitch as well. Here's Lema, opposite sides tonight though. Lema goes back to Jonathan Tah. Arsenal doing well again to push Bayern back, and again Harry Kane has come so deep just to get into the game. He's inside the centre circle now, receiving possession, goes out to the inside right position of Joshua Kimmich, out to Olise, 1-2 between himself and Carl. Olise then takes up a more central position, goes back to Upamecano. Arsenal with 11 men behind the ball. Kimmich trying to open things up for Bayern. In the end it goes out to Jonathan Tah. Ball with pace out towards Serge Gnabry, level with the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Back it goes to Jonathan Tah again, finds Upamecano again. Upamecano onto Pavlovic. 10 minutes played here at the Emirates, still goalless. Bayern with the more possession, certainly more possession without creating anything though thus far. They've almost lost possession over on the far side, but Trossard can't control it, and Bayern will come again. Here's Pavlovic, now Upamecano, just outside the centre circle, inside the Arsenal half. Leaves it for Kimmich. Kimmich points out towards the far side and then plays it out to Michael Olise. Olise's got Trossard over there, he's got Miles Lewis-Skelly over there. It's so congested over on that right-hand side. And in the end, Bayern yet again go back towards the halfway line. Just to the left of the centre circle is Jonathan Tah. Finds Lema. Lema does go past Bukayo Saka and then back heels it behind him towards Serge Gnabry. There's a coming together there between Gnabry and Jurrien Timber, both back on their feet and helping each other to their feet. And then Bayern work it towards the right-hand side. Is Kimmich onto Olise over on that far side. Olise back down the line again to Stanisic. Stanisic to Pavlovic, square to his left, and Upamecano. It's all Bayern Munich, but it's sort of in this same position, just in the centre of the field. They're not hurting Arsenal here, and Arsenal so disciplined, so organised, so hard to get round them. It really is, and Arsenal just looking to nick the ball and then break. I think that's the tactic, certainly for these early stages here for Mikel Arteta. Upamecano now, he goes long. I think he's going to put too much on that. Scampering down towards the corner flag is Serge Gnabry. He can't keep the ball in play, and it's a throw into Arsenal right next to the corner flag. We've played 12 minutes here at the Emirates, and it's Arsenal 0, Bayern Munich 0. There's been a goal in the game between Olympiacos and Real Madrid. Well, this could be an interesting one. Very early doors. It's Olympiacos 1, Real Madrid 0, and it's Chiquillo who's given the Greek minnows against the European giants, not just the Spanish giants, the biggest name in European football as far as this tournament goes. Certainly 15 titles to their name. Real Madrid 0. They lead by a goal to 0. Liverpool have gone behind. Their woes continue at the moment. They're behind against PSV early on, and Perisic, Ivan Perisic, you may remember from the Premier League, of course, has given Arsenal the lead, given PSV the lead against Arsenal. Here's Bukayo Saka, right inside of the penalty area for Arsenal. Crowded out. It's got 3 players who've come across for him, and in the end I think he's conceded the free kick. Indeed he has, and it's Harry Kane of all people back there defending. 2 of them wouldn't enough. In the end it needed Kane to come back, and Kane draws the foul from Bukayo Saka. Atletico Madrid have taken the lead against Inter. Inter, of course, the only other side still with a 100% record beside these two sides. And Julian Alvarez, the ex-Manchester City manager, done so well since he went to the Spanish capital, has given the Diego Simeone's men the lead. Free kick to Arsenal as Trossard goes down under a challenge from Stanisic. Free kick then to Arsenal. And it's one of these games, isn't it? I mean, neither team would be disappointed with a draw, you'd feel. But at the same time, if either side could get the win tonight, get the 3 points, it would be a real statement, I think, for the rest of the tournament. Arsenal free kick. Touched off by Mosquera to Rice, back to the Spaniard again. Now it's Trossard. Trossard back to Zubamendi, the Spaniard who's fitted in so well at the Emirates since he came in the summer from Sociedad. He has the ball again now, edge of his penalty area. Trossard, who's playing up top on the left-hand side, has just popped up centrally inside his own half, actually. Jurrien Timber then goes back towards Saliba, square to Zubamendi. On to Rice. It's all intricate stuff from Arsenal inside their own half. Out it goes to Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's brought down. That'll be a free kick to Arsenal as he's brought down by Jonathan Tah. Good first touch by him, and in the end, Tah bought it really more than anything else and brought the young Englishman down. Quick one taken for Arsenal, and Mikel Merino tried to play through Trossard, but gets far too much on his pass, and it goes all the way through to Manuel Neuer. Neuer kicks out towards the far side. Towering header from Mosquera back towards the edge of the penalty area. Can Arsenal control it? Almost comes through to Mikel Merino. Tah hurriedly clears long down the centre. Straight through to Mosquera again. Plays one out towards this near side. Lucky ball as well towards Bukayo Saka. Saka lays it back inside his own half. It's just behind Jurrien Timber, who has to retreat. And then the Dutchman goes back to William Saliba. Saliba, another central defensive partnership tonight against with Mosquera and Capi at the weekend. Long down the centre. That could be an interesting one from the goalkeeper, and it's headed clear. Good clearance as well. Manuel Neuer comes rushing out of his goal like only he can to head that one clear. Must have been 45 yards from his goal line. Referee stopped play because Bukayo Saka's down. I think he's got a nosebleed by the looks of things. It's either his nose that's bleeding or his lip. He's certainly shedding blood there as he's down. Bukayo Saka just looking at a replay now just to see what happened. Ball played down the centre towards him. Out comes Neuer. And did Neuer just clip Saka when he headed it clear? Let me see. I'm not sure I saw what happened there, really. Felt it straight away, Saka. Looks as if Manuel Neuer's possibly doing Movember because he's got a tash. Well, he's certainly got something growing on his upper lip. 16 minutes played here at the Emirates. Arsenal 0, Bayern Munich 0. Breaking play, nosebleed for Bukayo Saka. Elsewhere, it's Atletico Madrid 1, Inter 0, Frankfurt 0, Atalanta 0. Liverpool have got an equaliser. They went behind for long against PSV, the Dutch champions. And it's Dominic Szoboszlai who's got the equaliser there for Liverpool. It was a penalty, by the way, that gave PSV the lead for Ivan Perisic, the Croatian. Olympiacos still leading Real Madrid by goals nil. PSG 0, Tottenham 0. That's a repeat, of course, of the Super Cup, which PSG won on penalties so dramatically. They came back so late, didn't they, against Spurs from a couple of goals down to force that penalty shootout with which they won. And it's Sporting, the Portuguese champions, 0, Club Brugge 0. Bukayo Saka back on his feet. He will be okay to continue. He's got a bit of tissue stuffed up his nose at the moment. A little bit of concern for Mikel Arteta, but nothing serious. And I'm just hearing PSV Eindhoven has gone back in front against Liverpool. Liverpool have only just equalised, and PSV have gone back in front there. So Liverpool 1, PSV 2. I'll get the goal scorer as and when. Game has restarted then. And just for a second, Arsenal down to 10 men as they await the return of Bukayo Saka, their captain, of course, this evening. Michael Olise has possession for Bayern over on the far side. Back to Upamecano. Square to Pavlovic, left-hand side of the centre circle. Goes out to Serge Gnabry. And Gnabry just holds it up and then goes back to Pavlovic. And Pavlovic finds Upamecano. Upamecano forward to Kimmich. Kimmich, 3 Arsenal players around him, manages to poke it back to Tah. Now Upamecano, back out to Michael Olise over that far side, immediately closed down by Miles Lewis-Skelly, goes inside the England international, and a little tug of the shirt there from Miles Lewis-Skelly. It's going to be a free kick for Bayern Munich. The referee probably could have played on, to be fair, because Olise still had possession, but it will be an opportunity for Bayern to float one into the penalty area here in the 19th minute. And Kimmich has come straight over there. Bayern away from home this season, they've been almost perfect. Played 10, won 9 and drawn 1, which is exactly the same as Arsenal's home record this season in all competitions. Played 10, won 9, drawn just the 1. And of those 10 games that they played here at the Emirates, they've kept 7 clean sheets. Free kick then, a few yards in from the far touchline, back 30 yards from the bar line. In it comes, and it's headed clear by Miles Lewis-Skelly, I think it was, out towards this near side for Arsenal. And Bayern go all the way back to Manuel Neuer, who's actually so far out of his goal, he's inside the centre circle, the veteran. and he finds Serge Gnabry. That goes back out to Michael Elise over on that far side, the Bayern right, looking to take on Trossard now, who's over there to give Miles Lewis-Skelly a helping hand. Ball on his right foot, gets the cross in, and it took a little nick off of the Belgian. It's gone behind for the first corner of the evening, and the first corner of the evening goes to the German champions, who had their incredible run of 11 titles ended by Bayer Leverkusen a couple of years ago, of course, under Xavi Alonso, who's now at Real Madrid, of course. Won the title back last year quite comfortably in the end. They were chased quite closely for the first half of the season from by Leverkusen, but they couldn't keep up in the second half. In comes this corner from the far side, a lot of height on it towards the far post, and in the end arriving at the far post was Upamecano with what I can only describe as a defensive header behind for a goal kick. I'm not sure if Upamecano forgot which area of the pitch he was in, which penalty box he was in, but it looked like he thought he was in his own there. Floated high towards the far post, and the intention you could see was to try and head it across the 6-yard area square, but he just got his bearings all wrong there in the end, the Frenchman. And it goes behind for a goal kick, 20 minutes played. And there was a concern that this game might feel more like a friendly, with these two teams doing so well, and of course a draw not hurting either side. And so far it does feel a bit like that, but here come Arsenal possibly. No, it's looped forward by Miles Lewis-Skelly, couldn't find Trossard, and Bayern clear, not particularly convincingly. Ball up in the air, can Arsenal win it? Yes they can. Saka loops it up towards the edge of the penalty area. Was he brought down there? He goes down. Referee says no, play continues. Really good work by Zubamendi though, and Zubamendi wins the corner as he plays it off down this near side off Lema, and it's behind for Arsenal's first corner, and really good work there from the Spaniard, it really was. Because Saka just needed a helping hand really, and it was the Spaniard that came over and helped him. And here comes Bukayo Saka now. Corner for Arsenal, their first of the evening. Bayern unable to make the most of their first one a couple of minutes ago at the other end. Now at the clock end it's Arsenal, and it's going to be Bukayo Saka from the right hand side with a left-footed in-swinger. I don't need to tell you how dangerous Arsenal can be from set pieces, even without Gabriel, of course, who's currently sidelined. Saliba's up there, Mosquera's up there, among others. Right arm goes up into the air. Bukayo Saka, in it comes, left-footed, great delivery. There's the goal! It's headed in at the near post, and it's Jurrien Timber who breaks the deadlock here at the Emirates in the 22nd minute. They've done it again from a set piece. The perfect delivery from Bukayo Saka from this near side, and there was the Dutchman about 6 yards out with just a glancing header beyond Manuel Neuer. And 22 minutes played here at the Emirates Stadium, here in the Champions League. It's Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 0, and it's Jurrien Timber with the goal. Well, we've seen it so many times, not just this season, over the last few seasons, particularly, I would say, this season. It's just the perfect delivery from Bukayo Saka, and he just gets there, Timber, just before Neuer. Just look at it, it's so crowded inside that 6-yard area, and he goes for it, Neuer. He doesn't get near it, but Jurrien Timber does. It's just the glancing header. It's just the perfect header from Timber. It really is. 22nd minute, and Arsenal have the lead. And it's their right back, who I mentioned earlier, has been one of their, if not their most consistent performer so far this season, who gets on the end of that Bukayo Saka corner. It's another assist for the England international. And Bayern have had the better of it. They certainly haven't created anything attacking-wise, Bayern. They've been very, very quiet as far as the final third go, but they've had the majority of the possession just in the centre of the field, though. They've just not been able to hurt Arsenal at all. And when Arsenal get set pieces, well, we know exactly what they can do, and that's exactly what they have done here at the Emirates. We're midway through the first half, and Arsenal lead Bayern Munich by a goal to nil. Got to be careful here, Bayern. And they've lost possession, and that's a nasty challenge as well. It might result in the first yellow card. Indeed it does. It's Upamecano who's gone into the book with a flying challenge over on the far side. They lost possession by, and he was desperate to win it back, and he just goes in far too heavily on Mosquera. It's a needless challenge for the position that it's at. It's midway, middle of the Bayern half, and he's got to be careful now, as did Upamecano. Really has. Now he's on a yellow card with the likes of Bukayo Saka, Trossard, Mikel Merino, Eberechi Eze. Eze's actually been really quiet so far. The standout man, of course, at the weekend with that hat-trick against Spurs. So Upamecano, first man in Marco Guida's book, the Italian referee, and Arsenal have a free kick. This one midway inside the Bayern half, about 10 yards in from the left-hand touchline. Bayern's defensive line is about 30 yards from goal, and it will be set-piece maestro, England's Declan Rice, to take this one for the Gunners. The left arm goes up in the air from the ex-Hammer. Up he steps now, right-footed, towards the far post, and Bayern deal with it. They get it clear towards the edge of the penalty area, but Bukayo Saka will retrieve it for Arsenal. And back he goes towards the halfway line. First time ball forward by Rice over the top, and that's got too much on it from Declan Rice, and it goes all the way through to Manuel Neuer. Just took one bounce, and Neuer clears long from hands out towards Elise. There's the header clear by Declan Rice, who just seems to be everywhere. I don't know if he's got a twin, identical twin Declan Rice, but you see him one end of the pitch, and then a few seconds later you see him at the other end of the pitch. It's quite incredible the amount of ground that man covers as Bayern go all the way back towards Neuer again. Touches it off to Tar. Tar forward to Kimmich. Kimmich, goodness me, almost played that ball back to Neuer with so much pace. It was on target as well. Neuer had to have his wits about him, or it would have been an own goal. It was an odd pass back to the goalkeeper, but clearly didn't want it with that much pace as Upamecano goes back again to Neuer. Ball on his left foot, kicks long left-footed, quite comfortable doing that. Manuel Neuer, as all modern goalkeepers are these days. The ball is out of play down this near side. It will be a Bayern Munich throw. Midway inside their own half, down their left-hand side. We've played 25 minutes here at the Emirates Stadium here in North London. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 0. Jurrien Timber after 22 minutes. And throwing will be taken by Konrad Laimer. Laimer just dilly-dallying with the ball down this near side. Didn't really know what to do with it. In the end, he finds Kimmich. And Kimmich just plays it out. Kimmich's first touch was just far too heavy, and will be a throw into Arsenal in exactly the same position. The Liverpool v PSV game is one apiece. The second PSV goal was ruled out for VAR, through VAR, and Real Madrid have turned it around already against Olympiacos. They were trailing by 1-0. 2 goals in 2 minutes by one Kylian Mbappe, and it's now Olympiacos 1, Real Madrid 2. And Sporting have just taken the lead against Club Brugge. The Portuguese champions have the lead there, and it's Quenda in the 24th minute who has that. The ball here is with David Raya, the Arsenal goalkeeper, as he receives a cushioned header back from William Saliba. Now it's Zubimendi, finds Rice. Rice on this occasion is just outside his own penalty area. Spots Mikel Merino in space. Mikel Merino just right at the centre circle, floats one out towards Trossard. It's a lovely ball as well by the Spaniard, and taken down beautifully by the Belgian. Ball with the outside of the boot. Declan Rice suddenly is on the left-hand side of his own of the opposition's penalty area now. Down the line it goes to Trossard. Now Miles Lewis-Skelly on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Ball into the box, cleared at the near post, and a second clearance for Bayern. And Arsenal suddenly, after that goal, seem like the better team now. They've settled. Bayern unquestionably were the better team for the first 20 minutes or so, without really creating anything, without really hurting Arsenal. But that goal from Jurrien Timber appears to have settled the Premier League leaders, who were looking for their first Premier League title, of course, since the Invincibles from the 2003-04 season, where they went the entire Premier League season unbeaten, of course. Here's Bukayo Saka, touches heavy, goes out of play, thrown to Bayern Munich on the halfway line down their left-hand side, and then it'll be taken by Konrad Laimer. And Laimer goes back down the line inside his own half to Serge Gnabry, and Gnabry with the low ball back to his goalkeeper, edge of the 6-yard area. Out it goes to Jonathan Tah, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Gets the ball back immediately from Pavlovic. Continues his run down this near side, just holding off Trossard, and in the end he played it through to, I'm not even sure he was playing it through to, it certainly wasn't Kane, because Kane was in a far deeper position. The furthest player forward actually was Carl, and it had far too much on it, and it goes all the way through to David Raya. David Raya kicks long right-footed, sails over the head of Bukayo Saka, and it'll be retrieved by Serge Gnabry. Gnabry cuts in field and then plays it towards his right side, and Upamecano. Now Stanisic. Stanisic has got Joshua Kimmich ahead of him, so 1-2 between the two of them, and then back it goes towards the edge of the 18-yard line, and safety first from Upamecano. Back it goes to Manuel Neuer. Neuer kicks long left-footed to absolutely nobody, and it'll be retrieved by Jurrien Timber, and Timber just cushions the pass all the way back to David Raya, who was beaten at the weekend, of course. Lovely lob from the halfway line pretty much from Richarlison when he was off his line after Martin Zubimendi lost the ball for Arsenal. It was a consolation in the end more than anything else for Spurs, who were well beaten. And neither of these teams are used to losing. Just the one defeat between these two teams in all competitions so far this season. That was Arsenal's 1-0 defeat to Liverpool really early on in the season at Anfield. That incredible goal, free kick by Dominic Szoboszlai at the end of the match. His Saka. Back to Zubimendi, infield to Eze. It's been quiet so far. Cuts infield in a central position and then plays it out to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Preferred tonight to Ricardo Calafiori, the England international. Finds Declan Rice over on the far side. Lovely little flick on to Trossard. Holds the ball up over on the far touchline. He's got 3 Bayern players around him and he'll do well to win a throw in here. And in the end, Trossard just can't keep the ball in play over on that touchline. It'll be a throw in to Bayern Munich midway inside their own half down their right hand side. Half an hour played here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 0. Urian Timber with the header after 22 minutes. That's the goal that separates the sides. To be fair, there hasn't been a whole host of chances. In fact, there hasn't been any other goal-mouth action that I can even think of other than the goal. As Bayern go back to the goalkeeper. Again, it's a poor clearance from Neuer. It's the third time this evening. He's got away with that one, though. And Bayern come forward now. Here's Kane inside the centre circle. Can't control it. Saliba got there first. Lovely first time ball by him. Now Mikel Merino, edge of the penalty area. Out it goes to Eberechi. There's the opportunity. Oh, and he puts it a couple of yards wide of the goalkeeper's left-hand post. Huge opportunity for Arsenal to get the second. I think Eze was in 2 minds about whether to square it to Bukayo Saka or go for goal. And in the end, he just skewed it wide. Mikel Merino put it on a plate for him. He's onside. First touch is good. Props, I guess, have to go to Joshua Kimmich, who closed down Eze really quickly, and possibly that's the reason that he skewed his shot wide. Just looking at a replay of it now, just opens the body. I just wonder whether actually he was trying to square it to Bukayo Saka. I'm not too sure, but in the end he just put too much on it. Arsenal lose possession in the halfway line as Trossard can't control it. Kimmich has it. Big opportunity though for Arsenal to double their lead here at the Emirates. And Eberechi Eze, who couldn't miss at the weekend, could he? Everything he touched turned to gold. Didn't quite happen for him on that particular occasion, and that opportunity was far easier, I have to say, than, well, at least a couple of the goals he scored at the weekend. Here's Elise over the far side as well, just to keep that ball in play for Bayern. Back down the line, he goes to Stanisic. Now Upamecano, square to Tar, retreating back towards that 18-yard line, goes back to Manuel Neuer again, and Manuel Neuer knocks it out towards his near side again, and it's with Jonathan Tah. He can bring this ball forward towards the halfway line for the German champions, the Bundesliga leaders, the former winners of this competition, of course, on many occasions. Bayern Munich and Arsenal yet to win the Premier competition in Europe, of course. Hoping to change all that possibly this season. And Bayern have it on the halfway line. It's with Kimmich, floats one out towards that far side, and there's an opportunity for Bayern Munich. It's out towards the far side, and well, heading towards half-time here, just over 13 minutes to half-time. Here's Jonathan Tah on the halfway line for Bayern Munich. Over the top it goes, and there's a ball over the top there. Now this is an opportunity. Ball over the top, it's brought down beautifully, and there's the finish. It's squared towards the edge of the penalty area, and they are level. Kimmich with the ball over the top. Perfectly timed run. I think it was from Gnabry, and he squares it to Karl, and Bayern Munich are level. From absolutely nothing, and Bayern Munich have the equaliser. And both goals really scored against the run of play tonight. They really have. Leonard Karl has scored edge of the penalty, and Arsenal really just caught out by a ball over the top. It was just a simple ball over the top from captain Joshua Kimmich. Loops it over the top. The cross comes in, and from about 8 yards out, he says thank you very much, and Leonard Karl has equalised for Bayern Munich. And what a funny game it's been, because Arsenal really scored against the run of play, and that's exactly what's happened here, because Bayern have equalised with Arsenal on top. It's one apiece here at the Emirates. And what a simple goal it was as well. Great ball, though, by Kimmich. Not taking anything away from him, but He opened Arsenal up very, very easily there, and here come Bayern again with another one down the centre towards Kane this time. Now Harry Kane goes down in between an Arsenal sandwich, Saliba and Mosquera. And in the end, he just couldn't control it, but suddenly Bayern thinking, well, hang on a minute, maybe there's another way to get through Arsenal, just to go over the top. And Saliba plays one forward down the right side. He's looking for Bukayo Saka. He's not going to find him. And Lema goes all the way back to Manuel Neuer. First time clearance from him, left-footed. That's going to be picked up by Saliba again, just to the right of the centre circle. And let's not forget, that's the first goal that Arsenal have conceded in this season's Champions League. And that accolade goes to Leonard Carr. Back it goes to David Raya. Nothing he could do about that one. Kicks long right-footed. Little flick on there by Jurrien Timber, looking for Saka. Bukayo Saka. Oh, that's good defending, actually. Good defending by, I think it was Gnabry who was back there defending. Indeed it was. Saka was almost clear on goal. Here's Lema now, going down towards the corner flag. He's going to lose possession there, Lema, if he's not careful, but he's helped out by Gnabry in the end. And Bayern go long towards the halfway line. Here's Harry Kane. Game just opening up really now since that equaliser. Ball floated out to the far side. That's a beauty from Jonathan Tah, and Bayern are in again here over on the far side. Shot comes in, it's dragged well wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand post, but that was a huge opportunity for Bayern Munich, and suddenly from absolutely nothing, Bayern Munich are cutting Arsenal open. Over on that far side is where it's all happening. It's just another long ball over the top again, beautifully controlled by Stanisic inside the penalty area, right-footed from about 12 yards out, tries to beat the keeper at the far post, and he drags it in the end well wide of David Raya's left-hand post. But Arsenal caught out for a second time there, but on this occasion Bayern unable to take advantage. The game has stopped because there's an Arsenal player down, and it's Leandro Trossard who's picked up a knock. And in preparation for any potential change here, Noni Madueke is just sort of warming up on the touchline, just in case he needs to quickly come on here for Mikel Arteta. Just looking at a replay now of the goal. It's brilliant from Gnabry. The ball over the top from Kimmich, and it's a first-time ball crossed by Gnabry, squared towards Leonard Carl. First time finish by him. It's a lovely finish. It's so simple, but so good from Bayern. Kimmich over the top Gnabry. Gnabry square to Leonard Carl. First time finish. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1. And only came maybe about 2 or 3 minutes after Eberechi Eze had that opportunity to double Arsenal's lead. You look back on these moments, they can be game-changing moments, can't they? And we're back level here between the two teams at the top of the Champions League table. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Tottenham 1. Well, that's an interesting one. And Richarlison, who scored that absolute beauty at the weekend against Arsenal, of course. They were beaten heavily, but it was a brilliant finish from Richarlison, catching Manuel Neuer off his line, and he scored again tonight against the champions. So it's PSG 0, Tottenham 1, Olympiacos 1, Real Madrid 3 now. They were behind early on Real Madrid. Kylian Mbappe has since scored a 7-minute hat-trick. 22, 24 and 29 for the Frenchman. So Real are now cruising. And unfortunately for Leandro Trossard, he's having to be replaced here. I don't know if this is more a cautionary thing from Mikel Arteta, but off he comes, and Noni Madueke, who's just come back from injury, of course, he came on as a substitute in the second half against Tottenham. He will take up that position on the left-hand side. Interesting, though, that Mikel Arteta has chosen Madueke ahead of Gabriel Martinelli. You'd think be the natural replacement for Trossard down that left-hand side for Arsenal. So an unfortunate change there for Arsenal as the ball goes out of play down this near side. It's going to be an Arsenal throw on the halfway line down there left-hand side. It's one apiece here at the Emirates. Timber after 22 for Arsenal. Carl after 32 for Bayern. One apiece as Declan Rice has possession, and he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper David Raya. Finished 2 apiece, of course, a couple of seasons ago between these two sides here at the Emirates in that first leg in the quarterfinal. What a lovely turn by Miles Lewis-Skelly on the halfway line, and surely he's going to get a free kick. Indeed he is, as he's having his shirt pulled there by Michael Olise. Arsenal wanted to take the quick one, and it was a good quick one actually down the centre towards Saka, but the referee's brought play back. Mikel Arteta doesn't look particularly happy with the decision. It will be a free kick for Arsenal, but they won't get that quick break that they wanted. It was a lovely turn, by the way, by Miles Lewis-Skelly, and then Elise just had his arm around his waist. Free kick is now taken for Arsenal. Here's Saliba. Finds Rice towards his left-hand side. Rice goes long towards Timber, takes it out of the air beautifully and finds Saka, but Saka's control is poor actually, and Bayern clear towards halfway. What a lovely turn from Harry Kane here down this near side. Immediately he's got 3 Arsenal players around him. Back he goes towards the halfway line, and Bayern retain possession. Jonathan Tah to the left of the centre circle, goes square to Upamecano. He goes out to Stanisic over on that far side, just over the halfway line for Arsenal. Now it's Michael Elise. Elise on towards Pavlovic. Elise gets the ball back over on the far side. He's level with the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Back down the line he goes, and they reset once more. Bayern with Kimmich. Upamecano poked out again to Michael Elise. They've reasserted their dominance here, Bayern, since getting that equaliser. Elise down towards the byline. There's the cross, right-footed. He's got far too much on it though. Bukayo Saka can clear for Arsenal out of play down this near side. Throw into Bayern midway inside the Arsenal half, down the Bayern left. Will be taken by Serge Gnabry. Back he goes to Pavlovic on the halfway line. He finds Tah towards his left-hand side. Now Kimmich inside the centre circle for Bayern Munich. 5 minutes to half-time here at the Emirates. Arsenal 1, Bayern 1. Arsenal win possession back on the halfway line. Here's Bukayo Saka. Back it goes to the halfway line, and Jurrien Timber. They link up so well together down the right-hand side, those two. They used to talk so favourably about the link-up play down the right-hand side for Arsenal between Ben White and Bukayo Saka. Well, Ben White is going to do well to get back in this first 11. He really is, unless something happens to Timber. Saka on the halfway line. Lovely turn by him. He's got Noni Madueke now out on that left-hand side for Arsenal now that Trossard has been replaced. Here's Miles Lewis-Skelly on the halfway line. Forward to Eberechi Eze. Eze takes the ball back inside his own half, then turns round Upamecano and finds Madueke again over on that far side for Arsenal, who wins the throw. Throw is on the halfway line for Arsenal, down their left-hand side in front of the East Stand over on the far side here at the Emirates. Going to be taken by Miles Lewis-Skelly. One apiece at the Emirates, which wouldn't do any damage to either side, to be quite honest with you. Arsenal have a big game coming up, of course, at the weekend against Chelsea. Bayern have got a home tie against FC St. Pauli at the weekend. I don't see that as quite a big a tie as a London derby against Chelsea. Both sides currently 6 points clear at the top of their domestic leagues. Here's William Saliba for Arsenal. Saka now, one shy of the halfway line, in deep position back to Saliba once more. Closed down by Pavlovic, just to go back to Declan Rice, and Declan Rice goes back to David Raya inside his 6-yard area. Raya goes out to Zubamendi, and Zubamendi with the first time ball to Rice, right hand side of the penalty area for Arsenal. Back it goes again to David Raya, who on most occasions this evening has kicked long, to be fair, but in fact he is going to this time eventually. Goes long down the centre, and Eberechi Eze will chase it. He won't get it though. Back to the goalkeeper it goes. Plays one out towards the far side. Here's Michael Elise, midway inside his own half. Left-footed ball diagonally from right to left. Timber's there to clear for Arsenal. Zubamendi now inside the centre circle. Back to Mosquera. Finds Rice. Back to the Spaniard again. And Mosquera, just on the edge of his own penalty area, finds William Saliba towards his right-hand side. We've got 3 minutes to half-time here at the Emirates. Lovely turn by Bukayo Saka down this near side. He was being fouled. That'll be a free kick to Arsenal as he was having his shirt pulled there by Konrad Laimer. In fact, Laimer's going to go in the book by the looks of things. Rushing across towards this near side comes referee Marco Guida. And I think that's more for persistence more than anything else for Konrad Laimer. I don't think it's anything particularly bad about that particular foul, but there have been a few of them. And he joins Deo Upamecano in the book to Bayern Yellows in this first half. And Arsenal have a free kick. The free kick is just shy of the halfway line to the right of the centre circle. We have 2 minutes of the first half remaining. And here's Mikel Merino. Back it goes to Saliba. Saliba finds Zubamendi just outside the D. Mosquera to his left-hand side. Now Miles Lewis-Skelly down that left-hand touchline. Flows down immediately. Has to go back towards the edge of his own penalty area again. And here's Zubamendi again inside the D. Zubimendi twisting turn. He's got Kimmich for company there. He's got to be careful, the Spaniard. Forward it goes to Declan Rice. First time ball forward to Bukayo Saka. Saka now out towards this near side, and William Saliba, the Frenchman, brings it over the halfway line. Cuts infield slightly and then finds Martin Zubimendi inside the centre circle for Arsenal. We're inside the last minute of the first half. Floated out to Madueke, who's barely touched the ball since he came off the bench. He's got an opportunity to run down that left-hand side though. Cuts infield slightly and finds Zubimendi towards his right-hand side. Zubimendi with the ball into the far post. Knocked across the edge of the 6-yard area by Jurrien Timber, and it goes through in the end to Manuel Neuer inside that goal. Good defensive work actually by Upamecano. It's a lovely ball over the top by Zubimendi. Arriving at the far post is Timber. Volleys it across the 6-yard area. And there was Noni Madueke. Couldn't get to it. Battling with Upamecano inside that 6-yard area. And in the end it went through harmlessly to Manuel Neuer inside that goal for Bayern Munich. Here's Kimmich back to Upamecano. Closed down by Eze. Now Serge Gnabry, who's popped up in a central position, goes back to Manuel Neuer again. Neuer brings the ball towards the edge of his penalty area and then plays a low ball out towards Stanisic over on that far side. Stanisic goes long down that right-hand side, but a lovely turn as well. That is by Carl. Out towards Michael Elise. We're heading into stoppage time at the end of the first half. It's one apiece. Elise right side of the penalty area. Plenty to aim for. Finds Kane. Kane can't quite get the ball out from under his feet. And in the end, Arsenal get it clear. And it's a fortunate one actually because Saliba cleared it. It hit Martin Zubimendi. Could have ended up anywhere. And it just bobbles back to David Raya. We're inside stoppage time now. And that could have gone anywhere, that ball. Saliba clears it. Hits Martin Zubimendi on the back. And then just bounces back to David Raya. Now, Arsenal coming forward at the far end with Noni Madueke. Madueke left-hand side of the penalty area. The ex-Chelsea man. He's got Bukayo Saka. He's popped up over there as well. Back it goes to Saka. Left-hand side of the penalty area. He's going to get the ball into the box. Now he goes out to Declan Rice. Declan Rice, there's the cross, or attempted cross. It's blocked. It comes back to Rice over on the far side. He's forced wide and then wins the throw-in as he plays it off of Leonard Carl. Throw-in then to Arsenal. Level with the edge of the Bayern Munich penalty. I've got 3 minutes of stoppage time, by the way. We're in the first of those now. And that was a lovely turn by Carl at the far end, by the way, as he brought that ball down. And got the ball into the box eventually through Michael Elise. Couldn't quite get his feet set, Harry Kane, inside that penalty area. It's been rather quiet so far, the England man. Arsenal throw in then, level with the edge of the penalty area down the Arsenal left, and Declan Rice is going to take it back to the advertising hoarding as he goes. Hurls one in towards that penalty area. Headed clearing out towards the far side. Rice will retrieve again. Now Miles Lewis-Skelly. Eberechi onto Saka. And Saka pokes it back towards the halfway line. Inside the centre circle is Jurrien Timber. Timber goes back out towards that left-hand side where Declan Rice is. Rice makes the run down the left-hand side, cutting infield slightly. Rice still going. Rice pokes it on towards Noni Madueke, just slightly too far in front of him. And Bayern clear out towards Michael Elise over on that far side. Finds Joshua Kimmich towards his left-hand side. It's been a high-quality game, this one. It really has. You can see both teams. You can see why they've both been so successful so far this season. There's not a lot to choose between these two teams who could well meet, couldn't they, later on in this tournament in what will be a far more important two-legged tie than this one here in the group phase. One apiece, which, as I said at the beginning of play, I don't think either side would be too disappointed with a point apiece here. It looks as if it's going to be level at half-time. We're inside the final minute of stoppage time. And Bayern have a free kick over on the far side, just inside their own half. PSG have just equalised right on half-time against Tottenham. Richarlison had given them the lead, but the champions have equalised through Batinia right on half-time. So PSG 1, Tottenham 1. And no other goals. In fact, there is a goal to tell you about. Sporting Lisbon now gone 2 up against Club Brugge. They've doubled their lead, and Suarez has got that one. So Sporting 2, Club Brugge 0. Bayern go long down the right-hand side, but it's gone out of play. It's come off of Michael Elise, and it'll be a throw into Arsenal. I think that'll be pretty much it for the first half. Arsenal in front after 22 minutes. Jurrien Timber getting on the end of a Bukayo Saka corner, and then a lovely move for Bayern, which was finished off by Leonard Carl. Long ball over the top from Kimmich. The square ball inside the penalty area by Gnabry. First time to Leonard Carl, and the finish. And there goes the half-time whistle here at the Emirates. It's Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the second half.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Welcome back to the Emirates Stadium here in North London, half-time in this Group Phase Champions League game between the two teams currently at the top of the table. 4 wins out of 4 for both sides. It's 1 apiece at half-time. Arsenal taking the lead in the 22nd minute through a header from Jurrien Timber, and then equaliser 10 minutes later for Bayern through Leonard Carl. So it's 1 apiece at half-time, and game kicks off in this second half. Arsenal are playing from right to left, so they're attacking the north bank towards our left-hand side. Don't look like there's been any changes at half-time. There was one change, though, in the first half for Arsenal. Enforced change, Leonardo Trossard having to go off and replaced by Noni Madueke down that left-hand side. So the lineups are as follow. For Arsenal, David Raya in goal. Back four of Lewis Skelly, Mosquera, Saliba and Timber. Then in midfield, you've got Rice and Zubamendi behind what is now Noni Madueke, Eze and Saka, with Mikel Merino up front. And for Bayern, Neuer in goal. Back four from left to right, Stanisic, Tar, Upamecano and Lema. Midfield, Pavlovic, Kimmich. And then you've got Gnabry on the left, Elise on the right, and Leonard Carr, the goal scorer, just behind Harry Kane. Upamecano is on a yellow, as is Lema. Those were the two yellow cards in the first half. Our referee is Marco Guida from Italy. On the benches for Arsenal, Kepa, Calafiori, Hincapié, Martinelli, Norgard, Winieri, Odegaard, Setford and White. And for Bayern, Bischoff, Boy, Goretzka, Guerrera, Ito, Jackson, Kim, Mike, Ulrich and Erbig. And it's Bayern with early possession at the start of this second period over on the far side. Harry Kane in a deep possession all the way back towards the edge of the penalty area, and it goes back to Manuel Neuer in that goal for Bayern. It goes to Gnabry, gets the ball back immediately. Neuer from the ex-Arsenal man clips one out towards his near side because he spotted a little bit of space for the goal scorer Carl. Back he goes to Upamecano, and he goes back to goalkeeper Manuel Neuer. Kicks long left-footed, not a particularly convincing clearance by Manuel Neuer. Arsenal pick it up, ball with pace towards the edge of the penalty area. Rice can't quite control it. In the full front, Bukayo Saka, right-footed shot, blazes it well over the bar. If that was on his left foot, you'd fancy Bukayo Saka there. And he wants the corner, Saka. And it looks like he's going to get it. Did Neuer get a touch, actually? It was a poor clearance by Manuel Neuer. 2 or 3 times in that first half. He cleared out disappointingly from the edge of his own penalty area. Arsenal quickly play it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Kimmich tries to clear, plays it straight to Bukayo Saka, and Saka drills it towards the goalkeeper's left-hand post. And initially I thought he just blazed it over the bar, but I'll tell you what, Manuel Neuer has got fingertips to that, and he's kept that out. That's a brilliant touch by Neuer, and it's Arsenal's second corner of the evening. They scored from the first one. It was Bukayo Saka, and he goes short this time to Eze. Back to Saka, inside the penalty area. Back it goes to Eze again. Clips one over the top in towards that penalty area. Not a particularly great one. Cleared by Bayern unconvincingly. It's loose on the edge of the penalty area. Jurrien Timber's up there. In the end, of all men, it's Harry Kane back there, comfortably heading back to the goalkeeper, and then a little knowing glance and a smile between himself and I think it was England teammate Bukayo Saka. I can do the dirty work as well, Kane says. 15 goals, of course, Harry Kane has scored against Arsenal. Most of those against when playing for Spurs, of course. Here come Arsenal down the centre. That's good defending, though, by Jonathan Tah to clear that one. Upamecano over towards that far side. Michael Elise brings the ball over the halfway line for Bayern Munich, looking to take on Jurrien Timber, and that's a poor ball in towards the penalty area, which goes all the way through to David Raya. David Raya bowls one out towards the edge of his penalty area. Now Mikel Merino onto Rice. Rice finds Eze. What a lovely turn by him. That'll be a free kick, which Eze tries to take quickly, but in the end the referee just calls it back. Free kick then for Arsenal, just outside the centre circle, inside their own half. 4 minutes played at the start of the second. We'll keep you up to date with all the other scores, of course. PSG are one apiece with Tottenham at the moment as Arsenal go long over towards Bukayo Saka over on that far side, looking to take on Lema now. Down towards the dead ball line he goes, and Lema gets a touch. It's behind. It's another Arsenal corner. So it's one apiece between PSG and Tottenham. Olympiacos 1, Real Madrid 3, Sporting 2, Club Brugge 0, Liverpool 1, PSV 1, Frankfurt 0, Atalanta 0, Atletico Madrid 1, Inter 0. We'll keep you up to date with those scores as they progress in the second half. So third corner of the evening for Arsenal. First one they scored from. The second one, just a couple of minutes ago, they went short. And it didn't work out particularly well in the end, actually, the short one. It was a little bit of confusion, I think, once the short one was taken between Saka and Eze as to who was going to get the ball in the back of into the box. Didn't really work out, so I'm almost certain Saka will go long this time. Indeed, nobody's come over there for the short one, so the England international will. Left-footed in swinging. Can Arsenal do it again? In it comes. Another great delivery, and again it's Harry Kane getting his head on it. It's another corner. Referee is just having a word with Neuer. Neuer is saying he's been balked. Just looking at a replay of this. Cross-come the Arsenal players. Mikel Merino stood closest to him, but he's definitely not fouling him. And The goalkeeper of Manuel Neuer's stature should be able to stand up tall inside that penalty area when these crosses come in. He knows he's going to be well aware of what Arsenal can do, and already have done, of course, from set pieces in this game tonight with that goal in the first half from Jurrien Timber. And Bukayo Saka will get another opportunity because it's another one immediately headed out, the previous one by Harry Kane. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players inside. In fact, they've got 8 players inside the 6-yard area by Munich. They really have. If Arsenal can break through, it'd be incredible. Saka, in it comes. Oh, it's bouncing around that 6-yard area, and it falls for Timber. Clips it across the 6-yard area. There's a real scramble inside there. Declan Rice heads it back towards Marino, and Bayern get it clear towards the far side. Eberechi Eze picks it back up. Saka down towards the dead ball line. Saka cuts it back. It's just behind Marino. Oh, and in the end, he does get a shot in. The ball was slightly behind the Spaniard, and in the end, he blazes it over the bar, and it's behind for a goal kick. Well, the corner came in, so much panic in that 6-yard area, and it was Mikel Merino who was so close to connecting with it. Timber in the end got it at the far post, looped it across the 6-yard area. Bayern got it clear, and in the end, Eberechi Eze played a lovely ball down towards the byline. Saka cut it back, and it was just behind Mikel Merino. And the Spaniard did get a shot in the end, but the ball was behind him. It was a difficult one. He needed another couple of touches, I think, to set himself. Just rushed his shot and blazed it over the bar towards our left-hand side into the north bank. 7 minutes played at the start of the second half here at the Emirates. Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1. Neuer low out towards Jonathan Tah. Back it goes immediately to Neuer. And Neuer brings the ball towards the edge of his penalty area. Joshua Kimmich comes close, but Neuer goes long in the end, right-footed. It's a better clearance from Neuer. It's not a particularly good one again either, to be fair. The ball has eventually gone out of play, but it's come off of Miles Lewis-Skelly. One of a couple of changes Mikel Arteta made from the starting lineup that played against Spurs at the weekend, with Calafiori and Nkapie on the bench this evening in place of come Lewis-Skelly and Mosquera. Other than that, it was unchanged. It has now changed, obviously, with Trossard going off. Throw in for Bayern on the halfway line. Here's Kimmich. Header clear by Saliba. That will fall for Saka. Gets one on towards Madueke. Madueke can't quite find Mikel Merino, and Bayern can clear down this near side. Is Elise. Elise cuts in field, brings it over the halfway line, central position, couple of step overs, and then just shows too much of it to Declan Rice, does he? But he's brought down by Martin Zubimendi, and Zubimendi didn't actually need to bring him down because Declan Rice had won the ball. It was a late challenge from the Spaniard. Free kick to Bayern Munich just outside the centre circle, inside the Arsenal half. Joshua Kimmich is behind it. Remember, Inter Milan are the only other side with a 100% record in the Champions League, and they currently trail Atletico Madrid. So as it stands, if this stays the same, we will be in exactly the same position as we were at start of play. They will still be the top two, these two. And left Inter can turn it around in the second half in the Spanish capital. Free kick then for Bayern. Joshua Kimmich is behind this one, right-footed. Steps up now. I think he went for goal, Kimmich. He just floats it straight into the arms of David Raya. Well, I don't know if he spotted Raya off his line, possibly. He might have been slightly off his line, but not as much as he was at the weekend when he was lobbed by Richarlison. Now Arsenal pouring forward with Declan Rice. Rice, there's the cross. Did it hit a hand? Well, it's gone behind for a corner, and half-hearted appeals for a hand more than anything else. It hits the defender, who is Lamer, and it's gone behind for another Arsenal corner. They're racking these corners up at the start of this second half. This will be their 5th. They've all come from the same side as well. We've yet to see a Declan Rice corner because Bukayo Saka takes them from in-swinging, left-footed in-swinging from the right, and Rice hits them from the left, right-footed in-swinging. They've all come from the same side for Arsenal. So 5 out of 5 that Bukayo Saka has taken, or will be taking. He's taken 4, one of them successful. Jurrien Timber heading in. Can he create another successful one here for Arsenal in the 55th minute? 10 minutes played at the start of the second half. In it comes again from Saka. Header click. And it's Harry Kane who gets his head on it out towards the far side. Bukayo Saka retrieves. Level with the edge of the penalty area. He's got Kimmich for company. Ball on his left foot. There's the cross. It's a nice cross. There's the header. And Mikel Merino should do a lot better. A header from about 6-7 yards out. He was unmarked to the far post. Was he onside? Indeed he was. And Mourinho's got to do better. It's a tame header straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Very simple save from Manuel Neuer. And the Spanish international will be disappointed with that one, I think. Bayern go back towards the edge of their own penalty area. Now Kimmich in space, just outside the centre circle, floats one out towards this near side. It's a lovely ball and it's beautifully taken down as well by Carl. Now then, he's got past Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's inside the penalty area. He's going to go for goal, and it was selfish of him, really. He should have squared it. But Miles Lewis-Skelly's not having the best game at left back for Arsenal. He really isn't, and he was beaten there comfortably by Leonard Carl. And of course, it was that ball over the top into that left back position, Arsenal's left back position, that resulted in the equaliser for Bayern Munich, and Miles Lewis-Skelly was left wanting as well there. Long ball towards the halfway line is a good one by David Raya to Saka. Eze on towards Noni Madueke. That one's gone out of play, but I think it's going to be a free kick actually to Bayern, because Noni Madueke's gone into the defender, who is Stanisic. It was initially a great ball out from the back actually by David Raya. It was just the ball towards Eberechi Eze towards Noni Madueke just sold him a little bit short, and that allowed the defender to come in. Arsenal have the ball back though, midway inside the Bayern half. Madueke left hand side of the penalty area, tries to get the cross in, and it looks like Arsenal will finally get their corner from this near side. Well, is it dropped out of play? Indeed it has, and it'll be an Arsenal corner from this near side now. So this is Declan Rice territory, their 6th corner of the evening. 57th minute. PSV Eindhoven have gone back in front at Anfield, by the way. Liverpool won PSV 2. They were in front early on. Liverpool equalised, and it's Till who's got the goal there for the Dutch champions at Anfield. So Liverpool won PSV 2. Just a couple of other scores to update you with. I'll give you those in a second. Let's look at this corner first, though, for Declan Rice from this near side. Right-footed in swinger. Drills it in, plenty of pace on it. There's the header. Oh my goodness me, it's wide. It's Mikel Merino again with a gilt-edged opportunity to give Arsenal the lead. Brilliant delivery yet again from Rice. He delivers every time, doesn't he? And Merino, I don't think he knew too much about it. He jumps up, he gets some sort of, it might have come off the defender. In fact, it did come off the defender looking at it, and it goes wide of the goalkeeper's left-hand post. Mikel Merino looks disappointed. I think that should actually be a corner, because it looked like it came off the defender in the end, who was Upamecano, I think. Goal kick though for Bayern. So there's been a couple of goals. Actually, Inter Milan have equalised. Now that's interesting as far as who goes top, because Inter are the only other team with a 100% record, and Zielinski has equalised there for the Italians. So it's Atletico Madrid 1, Inter 1. They're trying to preserve their 100% record. Well, they've got back to 1 apiece there. Olympiacos have got one back against Real Madrid. Just break off a second, because Noni Madueke's making a run down this near side and wants a free kick, and he's going to get a free kick as well as he draws the foul, and Arsenal will have a free kick midway inside the Bayern half, just a few yards infield from the left-hand touchline. So Olympiacos are back in it, and the goal there from Taremi makes it Olympiacos 2, Real 3, hat-trick for Kylian Mbappe tonight, and it's Frankfurt 0, Atalanta 2. That one was goalless. Up until very recently. 2 goals in 2 minutes. Lookman and Ederson for Vincent Kompany's getting a yellow card, by the way, for demonstrating on the touchline. I think actually Mikel Arteta got booked in the first half, so that's both managers now that have been. Indeed they have. So 2-0 to Atalanta at Frankfurt, and it's now PSG 2, Tottenham 2. Can you believe that? So it was 1 apiece at half time, and Kolo Muani put Spurs back in front, and within 3 minutes Vitinha had got them level. Free kick to Arsenal midway inside the Bayern half, floated in by Declan Rice. Another lovely delivery. Will it fall? Oh my goodness me, it almost fell from Mosquera, pretty much on the goal line, and I don't know if he got a touch. Did he get a touch at all? What a delivery again from Declan Rice. Every time he's on the money with his deliveries. Right footed, in it comes, and it's a save actually from Manuel Neuer. It drops just before the 6-yard area. Mosquera's there with the header towards the near post, and he just puts the arms up, Manuel Neuer, and it's behind for an Arsenal corner. They're so dangerous every time, and they've got to defend another one now, because it's a corner from this near side for Arsenal. Their 7th evening. Declan Rice, right-footed, in it comes. It's another great delivery. It's headed clear on the edge of the 6-yard area this time, though. Miles Lewis-Skelly, that's not a particularly good ball by him, but Arsenal will tidy up, because it's rushing back as Eberechi Eze. Back it goes to David Raya, and Raya finds Declan Rice again down this near side. He goes on towards Eberici Eze. There's a coming together there between Noni Madueke and Harry Kane, I think it is. It's going to be a free kick for Bayern Munich midway inside the Arsenal half. Hour mark here at the Emirates. It's one apiece between the two teams at the top of the Champions League group phase at the moment. Arsenal have a throw midway inside the Bayern half. They're taking a quick one towards Madueke, who's come on as a substitute for Leandro Trossard, who was injured in the first half. Don't know how serious that is. Sure, we'll get an update from Mikel Merino ahead of that big game. Mikel Arteta, I should say, ahead of that big game at Stamford Bridge at the weekend. And Arsenal go back towards the halfway line. Zubamendi now inside the centre circle. Zubamendi's got Eze ahead of him. He's got Miles Lewis-Skelly ahead of him. Finds Saliba. Arsenal certainly dominating possession in the second half. The overall possession, actually, the whole match is 60-40 in favour of Bayern, but I think a lot of that comes from the first half because Arsenal definitely have more of it in the second half, particularly with all these corners they've had as well. I think they've had 6 corners now in the second half, and we've only played 16 minutes. Bayern have survived. They didn't survive the one in the first half, of course, the first one which resulted in the opening goal for Arsenal, the Bukayo Saka delivery, the header from Jurrien Timber. Bayern were level within 10 minutes, though. Lovely goal on the break from them as Mosquera goes long. Looking for Madueke, controls that one well, and then finds Declan Rice. Declan Rice powering forward now for Arsenal towards the edge of the penalty area. Still Declan Rice. Brilliant save by the goalkeeper, and somehow it doesn't end up in the back of the net. Neuer just stuck out a leg, and then it pinballed around inside the 6-yard area and falls kindly for the German goalkeeper. And goodness me, what a run that was from Declan Rice. Just so powerful, and nobody appeared to be able to stop him. Bayern survive again, and now they come forward down the centre there. That one's too much for Harry Kane, and Saliba will tidy up and go back to David Raya. Raya takes one touch and then kicks long right-footed. Feels like there's more goals in this one. Did wonder whether the two teams would just sort of play it out nicely in the second half and settle for a point apiece. It's a great save, by the way, by Neuer. Just sticks out the left leg. Declan Rice's shot is heading towards the far post, and he just stretches out that leg. And he gets quite lucky, actually, with the rebound because it so nearly fell for Bukayo Saka, who would have had a tap in. And Rice, whose greatest moment in an Arsenal shirt, of course, came in this tournament against Real Madrid last season, so close to getting another Champions League goal. Arsenal have possession over on the far side with Miles Lewis-Skelly. Back towards the halfway line it goes in Rice. Eze has it for Arsenal again. Just works his way over towards the inside right position and then cuts back towards the middle of the park again and leaves it this time for Mikel Merino. He's got Saka ahead of him. Finds Saka. Ez has continued to run towards the edge of the penalty area, but Saka's held it up and gone back in the end to Saliba. Arsenal camped inside the Bayern half at the moment as they look to get their noses back in front here at the Emirates and make a real statement to go top of this Champions League group phase. Of course, a win tonight for either team would give them 15 points, and it was 16 last season that was enough to get you through automatically in the top 8. So a win tonight for either team, and they can pretty much coast home for the last 4 games. Long ball floated forward towards towards Jurrien Timber, cleared by Bayern. Saka picks it up, and Saka allegedly has fouled the Bayern player, who is Lema. Free kick to Bayern Munich on the left-hand corner of their own penalty area. And PSG have now gone in front against Tottenham. Tottenham were 1 up. Tottenham were 2-1 up. And the latest goal in that one from the champions is from Fabian Ruiz. And it's 3-2 now to PSG in a repeat of that Super Cup, of course. And Atalanta are now 3 up against Frankfurt. Well, that was goalless at half-time, and they're running right now there, Atalanta. 3 goals in 5 minutes. Lookman after 60, Ederson after 62. Di Kettelera after 65, and the Italians enjoying themselves there as Bayern go long. Now this could be interesting, out towards this near side. He's Michael Olise, I should say, looking to take on Miles Lewis-Skelly. Down towards the dead ball line he goes, beats him for pace, and then he can't get the ball into the box because Declan Rice, of all people, is there. He's everywhere, is Declan Rice, and it's cleared by Arsenal, but Bayern will come again. And Miles Lewis-Skelly, as I said, he's had a disappointing evening over on that left-hand side of defence for Arsenal this evening. Other than that, they've been pretty solid. Here come Bayern on that right-hand side now. Declan Rice has come over to help him out, to be fair, and you can't blame him as Olise goes back to Upamecano, square to Tar. Upamecano again, low ball out towards Elise now. Elise level with the edge of the penalty area, back in field to Upamecano. This is the first period of pressure we've seen from Bayern in the second half. 25 minutes to play. They work it over towards the left-hand side. Arsenal doing everything they can to push them back, and they won possession back as well. Now can they break? Eberechi Eze striding forward for Arsenal. Pokes it over towards Jurrien Timber. He's looking for support. Goes back to Eberechi Eze. Bayern back in numbers now, to be fair, as Eze still has possession, but just outside the centre circle inside the Bayern half. Leaves it for Declan Rice, who is certainly on course for another man of the match accolade this evening, you would feel, the England international. Here's Zubimendi, left-hand side of the centre circle. Finds Mosquera. And the Spaniard finds his fellow countryman Zubimendi towards his right-hand side. Now it's with Rice again inside the centre circle. Arsenal just slowing things down a little bit. Bayern had a good little spell for 2 or 3 minutes there prior to Arsenal winning the ball back over on the far side. Rice again. Rice trapping the ball under his right foot and then going out towards that far side, and Saliba goes back to Martin Zubimendi. Closed down, goes back to the goalkeeper. First time clearance by David Raya out towards the far side again, and Saliba down the line it goes to Jurrien Timber, the Arsenal goal scorer. Just shrugs off the Bayern player and finds Saka. Saka's got 3 Bayern players around him. They still can't get the ball off him, and Saka in the end wins a throw-in over on the far side on the halfway line down the Arsenal right-hand side. Calafiori is going to be coming on, and Martinelli, almost certainly Calafiori, will come on for Mars Lewis Skelly. Not entirely sure about Martinelli, because I would have thought he would have come on in place of Trossard, unless Bukayo Saka's getting a bit of a rest here for the remainder. One eye on that game against Chelsea at the weekend in the Premier League as Mars Lewis Skelly goes long. And that was going to go to play. Sort of sliced his clearance there, Mars Lewis Skelly. That might well be his last touch, actually, if he is coming off and being replaced by Ricardo Calafiori. Here is the change, and Bukayo Saka is indeed coming off, so Martinelli will either go over to the right-hand side or he'll go over to the left, and Noni Madueke will swap flanks. Be interested to see what Arsenal decided. So the captain's armband is with Bukayo Saka. The club captain is on the bench, Martin Odegaard. We did wonder whether we'd see him this evening. As it stands, Declan Rice, well, a captain's performance really from Declan Rice. He gets the captain's armband. Mars Lewis Skelly does indeed come off. On comes Ricardo Calafiori. And here comes Martinelli. Back, of course, from an injury. He did come on late on at the weekend against Spurs. We are midway through the second half now here at the Emirates. It's Arsenal 1, Bayern Munich 1, between the two teams currently at the top of their own domestic leagues and currently joint top of the Champions League table. They've been pretty much perfect this season, these two sides. Arsenal the only side that have lost. Bayern haven't lost at all this season, and Arsenal just the once at Anfield early on in the season. They have been beaten though defensively tonight for the first time in the Champions League. Their first goal conceded in 5 games in the Champions League as Mosquera goes back to David Raya. Raya clears first time right-footed, gets a lot on it. Madueke indeed has gone over towards that right-hand side, by the way, for Arsenal. Martinelli takes up his usual position down the left flank. Eze just off of Mikel Merino, although quite often this evening Eze has been the furthest man forward for Arsenal as the Spaniard drops back. Bayern lose possession midway inside the Arsenal half. Can Arsenal capitalise? Down the left-hand side it goes. Here's Calafiori. First touch. There's the cross. It's a great one. There's the goal. Finish at the far post. And it's Noni Madueke who's got the goal for Arsenal to put them into the lead against Bayern Munich. What an introduction by Ricardo Calafiori. It was his first touch off the bench, and he's got himself an assist, the Italian. Brilliant cross from the left-hand side. And there was Madueke to tuck it away at the far post. 20 minutes left for play here at the Emirates. Is Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 1, and Arsenal have got their just desserts really for a far improved second half performance. And it's a link up. There's poor play really out of defence by Upamecano. He lost the ball, but Arsenal so quick to capitalise. Eze on towards Calafiori. First time cross on the left-hand side, and there's Madueke, just gets ahead of the defender at the far post. And left-footed, just hits it down into the ground beyond Manuel Neuer. He's got no chance, Neuer. And Arsenal are back in front and currently heading top of the Champions League group. And it's Noni Madueke who's got the goal, the man who came in from Chelsea in the summer. Well, I'll tell you what, he's becoming a fan favourite. He really is. He's only just come back from injury, of course. Came on as a substitute at the weekend against Spurs. He's come on in forced change, of course, tonight. And he's only just moved over towards that right-hand side, of course, because Martinelli has just come on, of course. He moved towards the right-hand side. Now here come Arsenal again, but the referee stopped play. Arsenal were in full flow there, but is there a free kick given previously in the move? There may well have been. Goal in the 69th minute for the 70th minute, I should say, for Noni Madueke. Now, will that be the winner, or can Bayern bite back again? They took 10 minutes to get level last time, the German champions. They've got a free kick here now, just outside the centre circle, inside the Arsenal half. They are looking to make a change shortly, and we've just seen Noni Madueke, the ex-Arsenal man, the ex-Chelsea man, score for Arsenal. Well, talking of ex-Chelsea, Nico Jackson is being readied by Vincent Kompany on the touchline. So free kick, Joshua Kimmich will take, right-footed, in it comes. That's not a great delivery. It's volleyed clear by Calafiori. What an introduction that was from the Italian. Clip back in towards the penalty area. It's not a bad one. And stretching at the far post was Gnabry. Couldn't quite get on the end of it. And it's behind for a goal kick. It was the right idea, actually, from Kimmich. I'm not entirely sure Gnabry was in and onside. Was onside when it was played onto him. Just gets ahead of Zubimendi. Sticks out the right leg. Almost like a kung fu kick. Trying to get on the end of it. Edge of the 6-yard area. And I think that's his last touch, actually. Well, I say touch, he didn't actually touch the ball. His last swing at the ball, because he's being replaced by Nico Jackson. So, a couple of changes for Bayern. Lehmer is also coming off. Konrad Lehmer. And it's the number 20, Tom Bischoff, who's the second. So, a couple of changes there for Vincent Kompany, just to mix things up a little bit for Bayern, who have been second best in this second half. I think they were the better team in the first half. There wasn't much in it, and there weren't really many opportunities, but I think Bayern just edged it. But Arsenal's certainly been the better team in the second half as Raya goes long. Bayern clear towards the halfway line, looking for Kane, who's been, in fact, Kane's best moments in this game have actually come defensively, as Timber wins the ball back for Arsenal over on the far side. Down the line it goes. Mikel Merino from Noni Madueke, the goal scorer, as he scored the winner for Arsenal tonight to set a real statement. That's all it is tonight. It's just a statement, no more. It's 3 points, of course. But you're not winning the Champions League tonight. Let's not forget PSG lost a couple of times. Did they lose 3 times, I think, in the certainly 2. Certainly lost twice in the group phase last season, the eventual winners. One of them, of course, was here. They lost to Arsenal at the Emirates and then came back later on in the season to beat them in that 2-legged semi-final, of course. They're locking horns with Arsenal's North London rivals tonight, Paris Saint-Germain. And it's an extraordinary game going on in Paris. PSG, Tottenham were 1-0 up. PSG equalised, one apiece at half-time. Tottenham, they went 2-1 up, then it was 2-2. Then PSG went 3-2 up. Well, Paco made it 4-2, and I'm just hearing Kolo Muani has just scored for Tottenham. So it's now PSG 4, Tottenham 3. Still plenty of time to play, of course. And there's a yellow card there for an Arsenal player. I can't quite see which player it is. It's for kicking the ball away, from what I could tell, as Bayern were awarded a free kick. I'll get you confirmation of that as soon as I can. I think it's William Saliba, indeed it is. So Saliba becomes the first Arsenal player into the book. Sporting Lisbon now 3 up against Club Brugge. They seem to be cruising. And Trincao has got the third there for the Portuguese champions, as Declan Rice, almost certainly the man of the match here. He's been absolutely, in fact, it's been immense all season, hasn't he? And he gets back in to tackle his England teammate, Harry Kane, and put the ball out, and then gets up to gesture to the crowd to get them going. How good is this guy? If he's not awarded man of the match, it'll be a tragedy. It'll be a tragedy if he doesn't win player of the year, and he's not in the line for the Ballon d'Or if he carries on this form. He's been absolutely incredible this season. He really has. That'll be a free kick to Arsenal just outside the centre circle as Eberechiesa goes down. So just to keep you up to date then, it's Atletico Madrid 1-1, Frankfurt 0 and Atalanta 3. Well, it's Liverpool 1, PSV 3 now. It's just going from bad to worse for Liverpool, isn't it? Not just domestically, but in the Champions League as well. And it's Ziyech who's got the third there for the Dutch champions, as Bayern clear over on the far side following that free kick for Arsenal. It's Olympiacos 2, Real Madrid 4, PSG 4, Tottenham 3, Sporting 3, Club Brugge 0. Here come Bayern Munich. They're not finished just yet. Long ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area, and Calafiori's there to control that one and then play it back to David Raya, who kicks long. out towards the far side, just sliced that clearance slightly. The Spanish goalkeeper's gone out of play for a Bayern throw. 15 minutes left for play, and it's Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 1. Timber for Arsenal, equaliser through Leonard Carl, and then Noni Madueke putting Arsenal back in front. Bayern not finished yet though. Here they come down this right hand side with Michael Elise. Of course, he's got Calafiori there. He had the better of Miles Lewis-Skelly, probably main reason that he was taken off. Miles Lewis-Skelly replaced by Calafiori. I don't think even Mikel Arteta thought that Calafiori would come on and make that instant impact with his first touch getting an assist, but certainly he needed help there. Miles Lewis-Skelly didn't have his best game, hasn't had his best game in an Arsenal shirt, and was brought off in place of the Italian. Here come Bayern with Elise, just overruns it on the edge of the penalty area, and Arsenal can clear. Here's Eze. Eze's going to go long down the centre, and I tell you what, oh my goodness, and Manuel Neuer's come out, and Martinelli's got an open goal, which he puts into and puts Arsenal 3-1 up. Manuel Neuer, what was he doing? He came rushing out as the ball was played over the top, and he somehow thought he could get there before the Brazilian. Well, he couldn't, and Martinelli just knocked it round him and ran through on goal, unopposed, and made it Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 1, and it's party time here now at the Emirates. They're surely heading clear at the top of the Champions League group. It's Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 1, and it's the substitutes again that have worked for Mikel Arteta. Martinelli has come off the bench and scored. Madueke has come off the bench and scored, and was assisted, of course, by Calafiori, who came off the bench himself. Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 1. Martinelli. What was Manuel Neuer thinking? He was never going to get to that ball. Arsenal clear. Eberechi Eze just goes over the top, and Manuel Neuer comes rushing out. He was literally up towards the centre circle, and Martinelli just knocks it past him. And Neuer's on the floor at that stage. Joshua Kimmich, bless him, he gave chase. He tried to chase down Martinelli. He was never going to catch the Brazilian. And he raced through, very, very similar. You may remember 2 or 3 seasons ago when he raced clear against Aston Villa, when Villa were chasing a late equaliser at Villa Park. And Martinez had come up for the corner, and Arsenal cleared, and then the ball was just played over the top, and Martinelli just ran through on goal. Well, on that occasion, he actually celebrated the goal before he put the ball in the net. Well, he didn't do that on this occasion. He did actually wait until the ball had gone into the net before rushing towards the North Bank, towards our left-hand side, sliding on his knees. Arsenal 3, Bayern 1. That is job done almost certainly now for Arsenal. Bayern are done. They're going to lose their first game of the season. Arsenal want more. Down the centre, Eberechi and Madueke comes, and this time, I'll tell you what, Manuel Neuer gets it right on that occasion, because he comes out and he gets there before Eberechi Eze. Was it Noni Madueke? It might have been. Otherwise, Arsenal are in for a fourth. That's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. It's over on the far side. Foul on Jurrien Timber, who's been immense again at right back for Arsenal. 12 minutes left for play. We just catch our breaths. Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 1. It's been another one of those nights again in the Champions League. Goals galore. We've seen this a lot this season. We really have. And I better tell you now, there's been another goal in Paris. It's Paris Saint-Germain 5, Tottenham 3 now. And Vitinha has got the penalty for the champions. So PSG almost certainly now. Surely they're heading towards the 3 points now, aren't they? The champions. 5-3, and still Atletico Madrid 1 into 1, by the way. So if that stays the same, then Arsenal will be the only side in the Champions League still with a 100% record. As it stands, Arsenal will be top with 15, into second with 13, and then PSG, Bayern and Real all on 12. David Raya takes the free kick long towards the edge of the penalty area. It's going to reach Martinelli, left-hand side of the penalty area for Arsenal. Straight back into the goals. The Brazilian runs into trouble down this near side, and Bayern can clear with Elise onto Kimmich. Sliding challenge coming in to win the ball back for Arsenal, but that's going to be a free kick, in fact, just to the right of the penalty area. Mikel Marino's going to go in the book for that one, in fact. Just to keep you up to date with the bookings, it's 2 apiece now. Bayern Munich, Upamecano and Konrad Lehmer, and for Arsenal, William Saliba and Mikel Marino. They do tot up these yellow cards. You've got to be careful, because you can end up with suspensions, of course, and Arsenal are going to make a double change, and it's Jurrien Timber to a standing ovation. What a season he's having. He came to Arsenal, he picked up an ACL in his first season in pretty much I think it was his second or third game that he ever played for Arsenal. He was out for practically the whole season. He took a year, really, last season, didn't he, to really get going. And this season, he's really, really showing what a player he is. And Jurrien Timber comes off. Ben White is replacing him. And Eberechi Chiesa is going to come off as well for Arsenal. And here comes the club captain. Martin Ødegaard is back from his injury. And this just shows the depth that Arsenal have got and how well they're coping as well. Because, well, they're top of the Premier League table. They're heading top of the Champions League table, and one of their most important men, Martin Ødegaard, has been out for some time, and back he comes tonight with 10 minutes left to play. Bayern are making a treble change, and the first number up is Joshua Kimmich. He's replaced, and he's going to be replaced by, still waiting for the number to come up on the board. Well, I can see the players who are coming on. Rafael Guerreiro is coming on as well, the Portuguese, and also coming on is Kim, the Korean. So I've got the three players. The number 42, so it's Leonard Carl who got the goal, of course, in the first half. He is off. There's been another goal in the Real Madrid game, so Carl, Kimmich and Upamecano. So it's Upamecano who's the other player that's come off for Bayern. So just to confirm, Upamecano, Kimmich and Leonard Carl off. And on have come Bischoff was already on, Guerreiro is on, Nico Jackson was already on, Kim is already on. I am missing one player, and I'll get that to you as soon as I can. Arsenal leading 3-1 here and heading to victory. And the other player that's come on is Goretzka, Leon Goretzka, the number 8 for Bayern Munich. We've got 8 minutes left for play. It's Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 1. Here's Riccardo Calafiori over the halfway line. They can't shake him off the ball, the Italian. Just keeps going, keeps running down towards the penalty area. Infield it goes to Mikel Merino. Lovely reverse ball towards Declan Rice. Takes it towards this left-hand side. I don't know if they've announced the player of the match yet. I think they do it with a couple of minutes to go. But if it's not Declan Rice, I'll be absolutely amazed how good he's been. Commentator's curse though, he just ran the ball out of play then, he just lost it. Arsenal won it back edge of the penalty area. That is a very lucky one. Zubimendi had won the ball, thought he'd won the ball, but he's been penalised for a high foot, and it'll be a free kick. Arsenal were clean through on goal for another one there. If not, the referee, well, I've got to say, slightly charitable to Bayern Munich there, giving them a free kick, which they've already taken. And there's 7 minutes left for play here at the Emirates. Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 1, and amazingly, Bayern Munich are still leading in the ball possession stats, 55-45. Arsenal, though, way ahead in the attempts on goal. But they have had more possession, Bayern Munich, but so much that possession, particularly in the first half, was just around the centre of the field. It really was. They're in high spirits, the Bayern Munich fans, by the way, over on the far side in the corner towards our right-hand side. They're still singing loudly. They've got the scarves out, and I don't think they're too worried about tonight, are they? There's bigger fish to fry, isn't there? It's just a statement more than anything else for Arsenal. But Bayern Munich almost certainly are going to be there or thereabouts towards the end of this tournament. They really are. And here's Martinelli. Brings that ball out beautifully from the sky. Then makes a run down the left-hand side. Has he got the pace, the Brazilian? Well, no, he hasn't in the end. He loses it. Bayern have it back down this near side and then run out of play. Run out in the end by Stanisic. Throw into Arsenal. Midway inside their own half, down their left. And they'll be in no hurry to take this one, Arsenal, as they see down the clock now towards 90 minutes. Just the one concern tonight, obviously heading into the weekend, will be that injury to Leandro Trossard, who was replaced just before half-time by Nani Madueke. Picked up a knock. How serious remains to be seen, but there are rumours that Arsenal could well be, or could well have, both Victor Gyökeres and Kai Havertz back for the weekend against Chelsea. Of course, against his former side, Kai Havertz, as well as Nani Madueke. Thrown to Arsenal, level with the edge of the Bayern penalty area, down the Arsenal left. Riccardo Calafiori with his heavily tattooed arms to take this one for the Gunners. Rice is over there. I don't think the fans would mind a fourth one to put the icing on the cake. Here's Ødegaard. Mikel Merino, now Martinelli inside the penalty area, squares it towards Ødegaard. Can't quite get the ball out from under his feet. What a return that would have been for Ødegaard. If he had, he would have had a shot on goal. And in the end, actually, there's an offside flag up over on the far side. I would assume it was for Martinelli, who squared it to Ødegaard, who almost had a shot on goal. What a return that would have been for the club captain. As Bayern go all the way back to Manuel Neuer again. He'll be so disappointed with himself in that for his part in that third Arsenal goal. Here's Harry Kane for Bayern Munich. Out towards the left-hand side he goes. And he finds Kim, who's off the bench for Bayern Munich. 5 changes now. In fact, both sides have made their allotted 5 changes with 5 minutes left to play. We've had 4 goals this evening at the Emirates Stadium, and Bayern Munich are heading for their first defeat since May. Although here they come down the right-hand side. Good defending by Mosquera. He's not really put a foot wrong as he in central defence. They are blessed, Arsenal, with central defenders, because Saliba, Gabriel, the first 2 of course, but with Gabriel out they've still got Hincapié they can bring in, who they brought in at the weekend. They've got Mosquera who they can bring as well. They've got 4 very, very talented central defenders. As Arsenal win the ball back and go long towards Martinelli. Not going to find the Brazilian though. It's headed out towards the near side, but it will be a throw-in to Arsenal just shy of the halfway line down the left-hand side. So I did mention that Olympiacos have got another one against Real Madrid. It's now Olympiacos 3, Real Madrid 4. I think they're going to get away with one here, Real Madrid. And Kylian Mbappe has scored all of the goals for Real Madrid. What a season he's having. Really setting out his stall for the Ballon d'Or this year, isn't he? It's El Kabi who's got the goal for the Greeks. But they're still trailing by 3 goals to 4. Could they somehow pull out a 4th late on and get what would be an unbelievable point against Real Madrid? It remains to be seen. It's still PSG 5, Tottenham 3, by the way. How come there's not been another goal in that game? It's been a while now, hasn't it? Surely. Bayern with possession, edge of the penalty area. Cleared out from the back. Here's Harry Kane just holding off Mosquera. He's got to be careful, Kane. And in the end, the referees awarded him a free kick, which he wants to take quickly. He does take quickly, goes down the centre. It's not a particularly good one, which is cleared out towards the far side for Bayern, and then Arsenal go long. Ben White just blasts it out of play. Ben White back with a bang over on that far side. The Arsenal right, of course. Difficult for White now with the form that Jurrien Timber is showing. Calafiori striding forward for us. He loves to get forward, the Italian. He's already over the halfway line. Needs support, really. Pokes it out to Martinelli. The support does arrive in the form of the Brazilian, who wins a throw-in as he plays it off of Leon Goretzka. Throw into Arsenal. Midway inside the Bayern half, down the Arsenal left-hand side, and the Arsenal fans in full voice this evening. What a week it's been for them with that thrashing of Tottenham on Sunday, and now this win against Bayern. And can they top it off on Sunday with a win against Chelsea? And a win against Chelsea, it's very, very early on in the season, isn't it? But I think people already suggesting that if Arsenal win on Sunday against Chelsea, the title race is already over. Surely not after 13 games. But Saliba goes back to David Raya, takes one touch and then kicks long right-footed. Down the centre it goes. Got too much on that one, Raya, actually, and then be tidied up by Kim for Bayern. Out towards this near side it goes. They're not used to tasting defeat, Bayern Munich. They're really not. Absolutely dominating the Bundesliga, and it's not just the games that they're winning the games by such big margins as well. They're scoring so many goals. We already know about Harry Kane and how many goals he's scored, but Michael Olise's got 10 to his name. Ball out towards this near side by Olise. Does really well to keep that ball in play actually for Bayern Munich. So we head towards the 90th minute and Ricardo Calafiori clears for Arsenal. Now Calafiori onto Rice, back to Calafiori. Calafiori touches it on to Mikel Merino. Merino now goes down the line to Declan Rice. If he could cap his performance today with a goal, it would be absolutely spot on for Arsenal. It really would. Throw into Arsenal on the halfway line, down their left-hand side. Ricardo Calafiori take it. We're in the 90th minute here at the Emirates. Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 1. Oh, dearie me. PSV Eindhoven have scored again against Liverpool. It really is getting desperate at Anfield, isn't it? I don't think anybody saw that one coming. And Drioch has got his second for the Dutch champions. Liverpool 1, PSV Eindhoven 4. Not quite know what to say about that. Arsenal won a free kick as Mikel Merino goes down, draws the foul. So I'll get you all up to date. Atletico Madrid 1, Inter 1, Frankfurt 0, Atalanta 3, Liverpool 1, PSV 4, Olympiacos 3, Real Madrid 4, PSG 5, Tottenham 3 and Sporting 3, Club Brugge 0. We are heading into stoppage time here at the Emirates. Arsenal have a free kick, and in my view, man of the match, Declan Rice, is going to take it. It's about 10 yards in field from the left-hand touchline. And Rice, who's on the money every single time with these types of free kicks. He had one earlier to Mosquera, which was well saved, actually. Mosquera with the header at the near post, which was well saved by Manuel Neuer, who has made some good saves tonight. Let's not forget that. Rice then, right-footed. In it comes towards the far post. There's the header, and Calafiori won the header, but he just sort of, it was a comfortable one straight back to Manuel Neuer. Wastes no time at all in bowling this ball out for Bayern Munich. We're inside stoppage time. We're going to have 4 minutes, just as we did at the end of the first half. Arsenal 3, Bayern 1. The Arsenal fans singing, the Arsenal fans absolutely loving this at the moment. Their team are riding a crest of a wave. How far will it take them this season? That is the question really with Arsenal. It's all about silverware now. They've come so close, particularly in the Premier League, of course, the last few seasons, finishing third. They've improved in the Champions League last couple of seasons, quarter-final, a couple of seasons ago, semi-final last season. Free kick to Bayern, about 35 yards from goal, just to right of centre. Foul by Zubamendi. Bayern want to take a quick one. They do take a quick one, and the referee calls it back, and it'll be taken again. 2 or 3 times that's happened this evening, actually, where both teams actually have tried to take a quick set piece, and the referee's called it back. So behind this one, it's finished by the way downfield. Liverpool 1, PSV 4. And this will be taken by Michael Olise. Left foot. Is he going to go for goal from here? He's all of, it must be 35 yards plus. No, he clips it in. It's a decent delivery, actually. Headed clear towards the edge of the penalty. A shot comes in, and bobbling around inside that penalty area. And in the end, it's blasted over the bar, but I think the whistle had already gone. It was Kim with the shot, which is well over the bar and into the clock end towards our right-hand side. It's a goal kick to Arsenal. We've played nearly 2 minutes of stoppage time. Finished as well at Frankfurt, by the way. Frankfurt 0, Atalanta 3. Good win for the Italians against the Germans. And still PSG 5, Tottenham 3. Sounds like that one's calmed down a little bit now, doesn't it? And they're still playing in Greece. Olympiacos 3, Real Madrid 4. Looks as if Kylian Mbappe needed to score 4 times tonight to get his team the win. It looks as if Real are going to hang on there. David Raya then to take this goal kick for Arsenal. There's a bit of a hold up here before this goal kick is taken. Not entirely sure why. Raya now steps back to take this goal kick. Here it comes. Kicks long, right-footed. Little flick on towards Martinelli, but Kim is there for Bayern. Back to the goalkeeper. A little bit too much pace on it, Bayern, but Neuer does well to prevent the corner. Back it goes to Kim, edge of the 6-yard area. Clears long towards the halfway line for Bayern Munich. Here's Harry Kane out towards the far side. Hasn't managed to improve on his 15 goals that he's scored over the years for Arsenal. The majority of those, of course, for Tottenham. Here's Michael Olise down this near side. Olise looking to take on Calafiori for Arsenal. Cuts in field, ball on his left foot. Decent delivery. Who's there with the header? You guessed it. Declan Rice to clear for Arsenal, and then that'll be a free kick as Mikel Merino goes down this near side. We're in the last minute of stoppage time. Atletico Madrid have scored right at the death. Inter Milan, who were the only other team other than these two tonight with a 100% record, look like they've been beaten at the death, and Atletico have gone 2-1 up, and it's Jimenez in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. What a dramatic goal that for Diego Simeone's men. So Atletico Madrid 2, Inter 1. PSG, no, they haven't scored again, but they have had somebody sent off now. Deep in stoppage time, 5-3 to PSG, a little bit late, and Lucas Hernandez, the PSG fullback, has been sent off for the champions, but it looks like they're going to get the win, and it looks like Arsenal are going to get the win. A hugely impressive win here tonight, a statement win by 3 goals to 1 against Bayern Munich, who've been pretty much invincible this season. 1 apiece at half-time, but a great second-half performance by the Gunners. Last chance right at the end. Can they get themselves another one? The icing on the cake. No, they lose possession on the edge of the Bayern penalty area. They win it straight back, though. They still could come. Oh, and that's a loose one towards the edge of the penalty area. That'll go through to Manuel Neuer, and I think that will be that. Neuer with possession just bowls it out to Kim. Just stood on the edge of the D. 1 apiece at half-time, but goals in the second half for Arsenal through Nani Madueke and Gabriel Martinelli, turning this one around. Arsenal did lead in the first half through Jurrien Timber. Bayern level 10 minutes later through Lennart Karl. But Arsenal turning the screw in the second half. And there goes the final whistle. It's played 5, 1-5 in the Champions League for Arsenal. They're 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League domestically. And now they've gone clear at the top of the Champions League as well. They're 3 points clear at the top of the Champions League. It's 5 wins out of 5. They are the only side. They're not only the only side